Hello everyone and welcome to today's PhotoBiz Live, where we'll be doing an Ask Me Anything about frequently asked questions that we have. Customers have lots of questions when they're getting started or even when they're already, pretty aware of the platform. There's always some pitfalls that we run into that we don't quite understand or maybe we just aren't familiar with. So today we'll be covering a lot of the frequently asked questions that we get with the platform. So if you have any, you can also ask in the comment section. We'll take a look at it as we go. And then I'll go through, I think, at least 20 questions today that we normally get and kind of then walk through it on the website itself so you can see how you can actually navigate these frequently asked questions. So I'm going to give people some time to get settled in. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment as well as we get started. All right, let's get started for today. Again, if you have any questions or comments, please leave in the comment section as we go. Again, if you need any help, you can always check out our blog.photobiz.com for more tips and tricks. That'll also get you started on how to utilize our products and features that we have available. We have tons of brand new things rolling out for the rest of the year, and as we roll into 2026, which is crazy to think about, we're already here. We'll have plenty of more coming forward. So, very excited 2026 is going to be an amazing year when it comes to PhotoBiz. So we can't wait to showcase that. So today, let's jump on some things that are frequently asked from our users when it comes to things getting started or anything in between. So we're going to have very beginner level and intermediate and expert level questions that people ask about the product itself. So there we go. Can you hear me now? Sorry. I guess this scene didn't have it. So we're going to start with our very first question. Today we're going to focus on a lot of different questions that are here. So the first one that we get is, and this is a beginner level one, how do I change my template in PhotoBiz? So to get started, the first thing you'll do is you want to be in the website builder itself. You'll click on design in the top half menu, and in there you'll see global settings. These global settings are things that you can modify, like the fonts, the colors, the spacing settings in between there, and just a lot of other default things that will globally change the website. But also in there is the option to change templates. So let's dive in there and see what that looks like. So we're going to go into here. I'm going to go to our website. And in here, you'll go up to our design, like we said, website builder. And in there, you'll see edit design settings. Here, you'll see all the design settings that you can modify, colors, fonts, stylings, graphics, all that's there. But the one we really want to focus on is this one that says change template. Here, you'll see that you have options to modify templates if you have one already, which one is live currently, and then the templates that you've maybe experimented with. If you click on add new template, here you'll see the options available, what's here to modify, what you can change, what you can add. I'm going to click on this one. This one looks rather cool, so I'm going to add that. You can ask it to keep your current settings or change to the new template settings. So if you keep the current settings, you're going to keep it as is with the colors, the choices that you've made for those blocks. Now, if you override it and use the new template settings, what it's going to do is going to override your template settings currently. These settings include colors, fonts, stylings, graphics, site background, footers, and any other CSS that might be involved with it. So I'm going to do that just to see what it does. It's going to override it. We're going to then save, and now that new template is going to be what we see available. So I'm going to go ahead, see what it reloads as. Get all my temp stuff out of the way. There we go. And you can see it loaded in differently. Now there's a menu that floats here that you can go in between that comes out the side that looks really cool, very stylish. And you can see it's a little bit more wider in effect versus what it previously looked like. So this is really cool. If you want to make those quick changes, that's one way you can make those changes on the fly using the change template options. Very quick and easy, one click. All right, let's see what our next one is. Our next question that we typically see is, can I accept payments, and what are the merchant options for PhotoBiz? So that one's fairly easy. So let's dive into there and take a look at real quick. Again, some of these are going to be beginner level, some of these are going to be intermediate, and then expert level. So this is, for our beginners. Maybe you're not familiar with PhotoBiz, or maybe you hadn't set up payments and you didn't even know it. So now if we go over here, we'll be able to see, we'll go to our page, and here you're going to want to go to the e-commerce. From there, you click on e-commerce, you'll see the options that are available, the ability, the payments, and options. Under payment in the top menu, you'll click on merchants. And here you'll be able to create and add new merchants. So what merchants that we have available, we have offline payments, and that's perfect for if you're getting like cash or check at the day of the event, or maybe later down the line. You can set up invoices for all that stuff if you want to keep track of that. That way you know what types of payments have been made, offline payments or not. But those are if you want to take payments offline. I don't recommend it totally because, we live in a very digital aspect these days. So the fastest ways to get paid is utilizing a merchant. So something like PayPal, which is free to set up, easy to do. You would just click on the one that you want, and then you would be able to fill out the information directly from there. But we also have Authorize.net, PayJunction, PayFlow Pro, iTransact, Stripe, which is recommended, and Square. So those three, the big top ones that I know that people utilize the most is PayPal, Stripe, and Square. Those are really easy to set up. With Stripe and Square, all you have to do is once you start connecting it, you'll click on here, and then like a pop-up window will then start to connect those dots with the your Stripe account, or even with Square. So if you set those things up with your Square account, then any payments that are given through the website will then go over to that merchant. So you're not going to get paid in PhotoBiz. We kind of act as an intermediary for those merchants that are available that you choose between. So we're kind of, the way to get the payment, but those are the sources where those payments will lie once you've collected the payments. So if you'll need to have a Square or Stripe or whatever already set up, and then we just help connect and facilitate those options. PayPal is very easy. All you need to know is your email, and once you do that, you can set it up, and boom, it's instantaneously created. So very, very simple. If you do PayPal, Square, and the other ones, you'll have to have an account with them, and then in here, once you want to connect it, then a pop-up window will come up, and then you just fill out, and then we just plug it in. You're good to go. Very easy subject. All right, next one. How do I create a new user and set permissions on my PhotoBiz account? So this is a very uncommon question, but it does come up often because people don't know it. So let's talk about it. Yeah, you can have multiple users be able to log into PhotoBiz and actually be able to work on parts of your website. So if you have partners on your website or a co-worker, anything like that, employees, anything like that you can have them access specific parts of the website, the total website, or individual products. So let's showcase what that can look like. So you'll go over here. You'll go into the section where it's My Account. From there, you'll see Partners and Users. So from there, you'll want to click on Users. You'll be able to add users. Let me recapture, there we go. You'll be able to go up here in the top menu, again, from My Account to Users. You'll click that, then you'll create a new user. So you'll want to know their name, who your employer, coworker, or partner is, their email, whatever email address you're going to give them, all that source. I'm just going to put test here. And then how you want them to be able to log in via email, authentication, or phone. So you choose which one you want them to be able to do their two-factor authentication from. That's all you need to do. And then you'll put their phone number in otherwise for phone. So if you know their phone number, you'll put that in there. If you're just going to use email, we'll just use email for this test. And then you can set the permissions for that user. So what do you want them to have access to? So maybe I want them to have access to only the blog itself. So then I could have that. But I also want them to be able to check on people who scheduled, and also I want them to send out invoices. So I can set this all up that way. They have only these options once they log in with their password that they set up for themselves to be able to then go in and then only participate in these functionalities. You can also allow for purchases or not, and if you want to allow them to access this section of the website, which I do not. So we'll keep it on no. We'll create this user. This create user will have this access, and everything that you see in the left side menu, now they'll only have the availability to see these three options. So all those icons will then hide themselves, and they'll only be able to go into those sections that you've given them permission to. It's very fast, very easy, but it also allows you to see what's happening in there. You'll be able to see what that user's done, what they've last accessed, and that way you can kind of gather like, hey, did you do that thing for me? Yes or no. You'll be able to, like, oh, I haven't seen you logged in a while. That way you can see what's going on. And that way you're also protecting, your own privacy. Maybe you don't want them to have access to the website to do anything on it, or you don't want them to be able to access anything with monetary value like your e-commerce section. You can then really keep your stuff protected, but also give people access to specific things when you want to. Very convenient. All right, let's jump over to our next option. Great questions, right? How do I set up my business profile for PhotoBiz AI in my account? Very good question. Very good question. This is something that you're going to definitely want to do if you haven't done it already. So let's walk through what this is going to do. So setting up your business profile is going to, when you see in the builder itself, there are sections that says PhotoBiz AI or Ask PhotoBiz AI. And what that's going to do is it's a convenient partner for you. So if you need help writing something, generating content for like a blog, or you want it to rewrite sections of your website or SEO, when you set up your business profile, it's already being fed to it how to interact with your website, what you want it to say, your location, and your tone of voice. So those are something you're going to want to set up if you haven't done already. If you're already an existing customer, you probably haven't set it up. But if you're a newer one, that's something that you're definitely going to want to do as you get started. So let's jump in there and showcase how to do it. Okay, so over here in the left side menu, you'll see branding. Click on branding, and then from there, you'll go all the way down to the business profile. From here, you want to fill out the details such as your business name. So we have it set up for Jane Doe Studio. We have our location as New York, New York. Our specialities and services, we do senior photography, and the style and approach that you want to take. So we're going to have, I'm going to change it to, instead of saying Jeremy Heiler, we're going to make it say Jane Doe. Jane Doe Studio captures senior photos in X location and around these surroundings. This is something that you want to bring in there and add to those details. So I'm going to put New York City and surrounding areas. I work to showcase your personality and such. So those are some things that you want to make sure is written in there. How do you want to? What's your approach? When you're looking like what makes your work or personality unique? I love capturing candid moments and making people laugh, something like that. So if you're bringing humor to it or anything like that, that's something where you go in there. And then also what your brand voice sounds like. Are you going to be fun and playful? Are you more polished and professional, friendly and casual, artistic and expressive, or are you calm and elegant? Then you'll feed in other information such as your business information down the line. This just helps in general put you in the location. So we're going to save changes. And what this is going to do is, so when we come over to our website builder, say I'm going to create a new page, maybe you're loading in something for the first time ever. What it's going to do is it's going to understand who you are right away. So if it knows I do seniors, I'm just going to select one that already has seniors on it so you can kind of see. All right, there we go. But say I take this one. This one right here says the placeholder information has Paso Robles, California, and these other details. You can see it has placeholder information that it wants me to fill out, but I'm not ready to. But if I was going to, I could just ask PhotoBiz AI simply to rewrite this with my details. So let's showcase how that's done. So let me load that in. So I'm going to click on this block here, right? Click on it. We see the Ask PhotoBiz AI. I'm going to just tell it to, ask PhotoBiz AI to rewrite this whole section. Now, if you give it any information, it will rewrite it based on that info. But now that it already had this pre-existing text here, you can see what it came up with. Capture your senior year in style. Celebrate your senior year with Jane Doe Studios in New York City. Our sessions are tailored to showcase your unique personality style, creating lasting memories and treasure forever. From your playful, candid moments to stunning portraits, we'll ensure your experience is enjoyable and filled with fun. So that's all you had to do, and then I just changed the title. Look at that. I'm done writing this section. I don't have to worry about it. And now I'm ready to move on to the next one. So boom, it's live, it's ready to go. But you could do this in any section here. So it's saying something about, some capture your details, things like that. Modify this area here. Maybe it's some informational section, just to get to know you more. I can just tell it. There we go. It already rewrote something right here with the types of energy that I've already brought to it. And then, of course, you can modify it how you go. But you can see it's already revitalized, looked at what was written there, and then now it's capturing my details along with the pre-existing text. Just makes things a lot faster at the end of the day. So definitely want to make sure that you have these types of things programmed in there. Just ask PhotoBiz AI and it will help with all those sections. Now, something else it's going to do is, and I think we'll come back to it later, is how it can also help with SEO. So this page might have no SEO generated for it yet, but I'm just going to ask PhotoBiz AI to do it. So let's see what it comes up with. Knowing my details, you can see that it's pre-programmed in there. Meta titles, meta descriptions, and meta keywords based on where I'm located at and what it is. Now, if I need to change the title of this page to be about an about page or a gallery, this is where I'll put those details in as well. But you can see it's already done the work where you're not having to slave over trying to figure out, oh, what's next? How do I make this work or anything like that? A lot of work's already done for you, so you don't have to worry about it. Isn't that great? Now you can keep working and then you can focus on your clientele. All right, let's jump over to our next question. So there we go. Our previous one was how do I set up my business profile, which is awesome, right? Next one we're going to look at is how can I optimize my website for SEO with PhotoBiz AI? Now we already kind of talked about it. There we go. We set up our business profile. Then we go into our side panel. So let's jump over there again. You can see that what we have here on each page, you're going to have options for something. So you click on SEO. You'll see something here. You can go in and you can create your own custom AI instructions here, or you can make it use the business profile that we set up. Once you ask PhotoBiz AI to help, it's going to read it as, what's this page about? Oh, here we go. Discover my information about why I do what I do. It knows this is about our story. If I wanted to make it an about page, anything like that, it's going to read it and recontextualize it. It's going to base it off the name of the page. So if I had a page name called, let's just say, I'm just going to create a booking page. We're going to call it Holiday Sessions. You can have something like this. It's going to generate it. I need to put some SEO on it. It's going to then generate the same types of details based on that. Holiday sessions at Jane Doe, create, capture holiday seasons. So fast, so easy. You don't have to worry about putting in all that extra hard work. Make it last, make it easy so you're not having to struggle with that. Now, you can also do this for like your blog sections and stuff like that as well. So if you have a blog, you need to add some options there. You can add some SEO to those pages. What to wear for a family session. Hey, guess what? I do family sessions on the side for my senior photos. There we go. And it generates the metadata for you. So these are fast ways that you can generate SEO so you're not having to figure out every single keyword and text like that because it's constantly changing anyway. We put in presets in there. We utilize Google's algorithms, and we're utilizing our AI systems based off what photographers are seeking when it comes to that text. Now you can always customize it as you go. Again, you can click here, add an extra prompt in there if you want to, make it focus directly on something specific, however you want to. This is a great way to add SEO to your pages. Another thing you can also do is add SEO meta details as well. So maybe I'm coming up to here. I want to click on this image. You can ask PhotoBiz AI to also add alt text to images as well. So I'm going to click Ask PhotoBiz AI, and you can see it. Groom's boutonniere being adjusted on his suit jacket. It's so brilliant. It's very fast, so where you don't have to think about it. So you can go to Images, click on one here. I'm going to go to this one here. Ask PhotoBiz AI. And a person adjusting a white ribbon in a woman's hair showcasing an elegant updo, soft lighting. So yeah, obviously, this is brilliant. So now that's already written. It's ADA focused, helping people who have visibility impairments and stuff like that. But you can do this to all the images on your website. So fast, so clean, easy. Look, this one's already done before. Woman in casual wear, sitting on a wooden dock by the water with boats in the background. So do this very quick. Click one button and you're good to go. All right, our next question. Let's take a look. All right, our next one is, how do I set up invoices, quotes, and studio management tools? Now, this is a little bit that intermediate level. This is at expert level. So let's talk about that. So we're going to go over to a different part of our platform. So let's jump in. You'll want to click on quotes and invoices. And this is going to help you get like proposals out there or invoices for previous payments. Like I said, those offline payments or anything like that. This is where you can set that stuff up. So for a new quote, you can come in here, you can add details. If you have products set up, you can add them directly here, like all your prints, if you have those available, digital images, if you have those available. Anything like that can be set up here. Packages, if you have packages available, you can select one, add it here, the quantities, how many products. So maybe you have some products available. You can have that here. Like, oh, maybe they're getting a book. We'll give them, they're getting 3 books. There we go. Add an item. You can do it and it'll be like a list, it'll itemize itself. Now, if you have something that isn't, on a service, like a service that isn't there or anything like that, this is where you can customize a lot of those options as well. So for here, let's go ahead and add a custom item line. So this is going to be for a session fee. So we'll put session fee, on-site session, 8 hours. So it's an all-day event. So maybe a wedding or something like that. And you're going to know what? You're going to do a $1,200 session fee for that. You can add if it's taxable, charging shipping, anything like that. Boom. And they'll keep itemizing anything else that you need for that, like custom wardrobe, custom makeup, and wardrobe. If you're doing anything like that, hired artists and clothes. So maybe you got that. For that person, we're going to charge them. They're only going to be there for an hour. So we'll put like that in the itemize. 2 hours, or something like that. So we'll charge that $250. There we go. Is it taxable? No, all that. So you put it in there, and you'll see it starts to itemize out all the things for this event. Now it's all customized here. Everything. If you need to make changes, you can edit it up here. But once you're ready, then you can send it to your clientele. They'll have to approve it within the time frame that you allow it, and all that stuff. So when you click send, you can then send it to anyone that you might have in your CRM. If you have no one there, that's fine. You can add someone. We're going to go ahead and add we're going to send this to me. We're going to do that. There we go. So they're going to get it. It has all their details. And then when you're ready, you can send anything else. Like if there's an expiration date, we're going to give them a week to do it. So, we'll get them to the 21st. For the expiration date, any other details that you want to put in the quote itself, like, hey, yada, 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 please look over this. If there's anything you want to change, let me know. And then you can put your terms and policies like, hey, you need to respond by X. If I don't, X, Y, and Z will happen. Or if you do agree to it, any types of terms that you want to put in there. And then, of course, a thank you message if you want that to roll out after they've selected it. So we got that. Boom, done. We're going to go ahead and send this to our client. Your new quote is ready. It's going to send to them. They're going to get an email. What that email is going to look like, it's going to look like this. They're going to get this thing. They're going to get an itemized thing. They open it up, and then they can either approve or decline it. Now, if they approve it, they can put a digital signature here. That's going to be really nice and helpful. Then, boom, they have it. Now, what do you get out of this? So, next thing you're going to get out of this is you're going to see in your quotes section, you'll see if it's been approved. If it's been approved, you'll click on it. You'll go to status. You'll check the status. Then you can either do some multiple things here. You can allow for partial payments. What the invoice due date is, let's go ahead and make it, we're going to give them a month. If you allow partial payments, and then if you're going to send the invoice. And if you're going to do it, email the invoice now. We're going to go ahead and create it. Invoice has been sent. They got it now. So now they're going to get an email, then they'll pay throughout it. And then the invoice section, here's what it'll be like for them. You'll be able to see if they made any payments. Now, if they come into your business and they pay with like a check or anything like that, you can say they paid $500 in-person check 11/14, something like that. So they made their partial payment. So now you'll see the remainder. They paid a $500 payment, all that stuff. You can then follow that order and then continue as it goes. They can pay it out directly from here. Choose your payment module. If the offline payment's there, you can select that, and then how they paid it. And it'll keep building on top of that till that thing is built and sent out. In the invoicing section, you'll see if it's been partially paid. Tracking, you'll be able to track anything that's been approved for quotes or invoices in this section anytime, however long. So this is definitely a great way to manage your clientele and getting payments if you do it that style. This is different from like scheduler and things like that. So this is just one of the ways you can get paid. There's so many. You can have an online store. You can have private galleries. You can take scheduling. You can do it through forms, however you want to. But this is one great way that you might not know about that you can get paid directly with PhotoBiz. All right, let's check out our next one. All right. Now this one is a fun one I like to talk about. Let's see. This one is, are my websites mobilely responsive and optimized for performance? Yes, with PhotoBiz, you only have to design your website once. Some of these website builders require you to kind of make a mobile version as well in tandem, which is kind of unfortunate because you do not need extra time building. We try to focus on making sure that you get it done, one and done, right? So I like to always call it magically mobile. Responsive websites, what a lot of people call it. But the nice thing about it is you design a website, click here, you can see how your website looks on a desktop. You see how it looks like on a tablet, and then you can see what it looks like in mobile phones. This is really nice because it helps you see what your website looks like for all your clients, and you only have to design it once. Isn't that nice? I mean, you just don't have the time or benefit these days to spend all your time working on a website. So if you're able to see what it looks like right away, how it's functioning on multiple devices, that's ideal. So you can see how it looks. You can make tweaks after that. Maybe you want to change the banner, stuff like that. Guess what? Banners are really cool and flexible. So if, say I put a banner on this page, we'll go over here. Maybe I want to put a banner on this page. I'm just going to pull one up here. You can see, okay, cool. Maybe it's going to be this one right here. Now, in a mobile setting, it might not display this person right. So let's take a look because it's such a wide photo, right? Now, of course, there's ways to get around it. You see, like normally, if it's bleeding, oh no, I can't see your shoulder. Well, what you could do there's two options. First, you could select the image that you want to modify, right? So you can see it here. You can then change the focal point if you need to on that image, which is rather easy to do. So if I was going to select one, let me see if I have anything on my clipboard. I'll select this one. You'll see that these images can be modified that way. You can also modify how they look with, if you want to do a no crop banner, you can choose those options as well. What that's going to do is it's going to then modify the desktop. Now the desktop's going to have, like, see, oh no, it's not cropping the image, it's not bleeding off anymore, so you have that to contend with. But I prefer to do it a different way. So I like to keep the layout the way you intend it. We'll keep that classic medium. Then you can choose the mobile layout. You can modify it here if you want it to react differently. Or you can choose a mobile image. So mobile images are great because then you can select something different. Maybe I want a more vertical shot. This is where you can upload a vertical shot directly in here. So now when we go to this page, we'll go over to it now. You'll see that the mobile version displays this image, but the desktop version is going to display the other one. There you go. So now you got two unique styles. You can add text and all that stuff if you want to it as well. Ooh. So we can go in here and check that again. We'll click here. We'll go to that page. There's the desktop. And then here's our mobile version. And you can see the unique differences between the two. If we wanted to, we could add text over this as well. You just go over to that block. You'd click on the image. Maybe you want to take the same text. I'm going to copy just this part for now so you can get the idea. Go over here and then just add it in as the title and save changes. So now when I go to that block in mobile, I'll then be able to see how it displays. There we go. So very fast, very easy, makes it so simple. So if you need to make any tweaks like that, you can definitely do that for banners, but most of the stuff is already going to be ready to go out right away without little changes. Nothing. You don't have to worry about it. Very one-to-one with the design of the desktop. So design it once and put it away. All right, our next question is, wrong one. Let's see. How do I change languages or translate my website? Okay, so this one might be a little tricky for some people, but if you're doing some stuff and you want like don't want to say cart or anything like that, but you wanted to say a specific language, you can modify that easily. So we're going to go over here. We're going to go over to e-commerce, and in the e-commerce section, you'll see settings. So in here, you'll have general things. You can update the currency if you need to any currency that you work with. You can also modify checkouts information here. You can also check out other options, such as when you go to your My Profile, you can also modify settings and languages here as well. So in here, you can modify the pre-programmed stuff. So if it says appointments, buy, cart, anything like that, you can modify and change it to Spanish, France, and Italian. So if you want to, you can modify that here. But you can also customize it with your own language as well, or even customize if you wanted to say something else instead of cart. Maybe you wanted to say bag. You could add the bag, anything like that. So those are things that you can modify directly here. Very easy to do, very simple. Now, if you need a full website translation tool, you can also utilize things out there. There's Google options out there. Many AI tools are available now for languages. So if you need a full translated website, you can do that yourself. But if you're writing your own language in your own website, you're fine. But if you need to change the specific account information language, you can do that here. So you can see, boom, how it modified it directly real quick. If you need to do it here, you can see how it modifies. So very simple, very easy to do to modify that. And we'll be adding more languages as time goes on. But those are the primary ones. And then, of course, you can customize whatever you wanted to say with your own language. Very easy question. All right, next one. Okay, how do I change my fonts and overall branding of my website? Okay, we kind of briefly mentioned this, so let's walk through that again. So you go to your website builder, you'll click on design and then click on edit design settings. Here you'll have the options to do the global changes. So if you want to change what your website color is totally here, you can do that. So maybe you want it to be an accent color of gray or something like that. This is where you can make those modifications to that template style. Maybe the website color, the site background color, you want to change it to something else. You can see those changes happen directly over here. So this is where you can make those modifications. Maybe you want the font to be something different. Right now the menu is going to use Lato. Maybe I want to use something different. Maybe I want to use a serif font in there. Maybe something big and bubbly. You could definitely go in there and then you can see how it changes the website, And then you can also change like other things, like how large it is in the menu. Maybe you want massive text in the menu. You could have that as an option. So you can see how it displays. So these are global setting changes that you can modify from colors, fonts, stylings, like how much space in between each block when you add it to the website itself, and how it interacts with one another, and what types of button graphics, if there's a site background, footer background, and if there's options for CSS and any other things like how the blog looks when it's fully on display, how the product details look, and animation tools. So how fast is the animations loading on your website? Is it slow? Is it fast or in between? How do blocks load in? Are they fading in or sliding up? I'm just going to change it to fade ins. And hover animations for buttons. Do you have anything going on? Anything like that? I'm just going to do it for fill. How about that? So now you can see when we scroll, they fade in versus floating. We have foldovers and we have this effect now going on. So let's showcase that. So we made those changes. You can see how it displays, how rollover effects work. All that can be modified there in this tab over here. So think about your animations and styles that you want to do and make those changes accordingly here. Now, if you need to make changes specifically to just one block, you can do it by block as well. So maybe on this block, I want to change the font and the colors. So you over here, when you click on the block, you have options for stylings. You can change how it looks totally. Maybe you want to make it have a card-like effect. You can do that. You can change the overall styling itself per block directly here. Any opacity effects, anything like that. Colors, maybe I'm going to change the colors. I want it to be black for the title. You can do that there. And then below you have other options too. For titles, maybe you want to change, again, maybe you don't want something so modern looking. Maybe you want something a little bit more classical. You can go to a serif font. You can see what's there. Select that and kind of modify it as you go. You can then also modify the size of the font however you want it to display until you get the exact look that you're going for. And then you can also, not just size, but spacing as well. You can modify spacing for that as well as it displays here. You can then modify the animations if there's any animation effects, if you have buttons involved. But you can do this block by block, however you want to, and it overrides the global setting. Very fast, very easy. You can do it any block you want to. Maybe, we had button color set to black. You can go over here and change the background color to now be red or something like that. So now when you roll over it, it'll be that red color. So let's see. Yeah, so you can change all those options here. So you go from there. So you can keep modifying things till you get the exact look that you're going for. All right, our next question. How do I change a block's layout? Now we kind of talked about that a little bit. That should be easy enough to showcase again. So let's do that. Changing your block layout is very simple. Every block has different looks and changes that you can make. So let's display how you can make those changes on the fly, or if you want to go more in depth. So say for this one is a collage. I can click on the block, I can click on layout, and then I can go directly to where it's at, right? It's in collage 4. Now maybe I wanted to set it to collage 6. You can see how it modifies the layout and look. And then you can also then change the position of where photos are located at. So, if you don't want it to crop specifically on certain things, you can do that. Or maybe you want to display it as, this. You have tons of different ways you can display it. Every block has its own unique types of styles and patterns and looks for layouts. Maybe you're going to go for an overlay effect like this. You can keep modifying it till you get the specific look that you're going for. So I'll remove these 2 images because I just want the first wave. There we go. And then other things you can do is, say you just want to jump right to this one. Click on the name of it, and it's going to take you to the next one. Now, you can click here. You can open it with the pencil or just change layout. When you do that, it takes you right to the block that you're modifying. Or you can do it on the fly. You can click here, these arrows will walk you through all the looks that are available until you get a desired look that you're going for. So you can make these quick changes very fast, very easy, so you're not having to walk through everything. It'll just be there. Okay, so make that your choice when it comes to making new looks. Very fast, very easy. I love it, because you can kind of go right to the source of like, oh man, I don't want to go through all these, but let me just toggle quickly. And you're like, oh man, that's the one. This is the one I want. There you go. Very fast. You can do this to any block here again. So you want to change it up. Boom. I love the way this looks. You want to change something else. I don't like how this spacer is. I wanted to have a line. Oh, I don't, you can go through everything. Maybe you want it to be a different style. Circles, perfect. Maybe you want it to change the layout. Boom. Look at that. Look how fast and easy it is. And of course, if you want to jump in and look at all the options, you can click right on it and go straight to that layout. And then make those changes as you go. So we try to make it as fast and flexible for different types of users. If you want to explore, you can just always click and go in and look at the layout options. But if you feel comfortable with just toggling quickly, you can do that and just get looks right away that you're either excited about, or you want to be like, I like it, but I want to make some changes. Oh, this looks great. I compare an image with it. Let's put an image with it. Like now I have something I want to put there with it. Done, something like that. Or, oh no, I don't like how it's covering her face. There we go, I like this one. Then you can modify it if you need to. If you need to change focal point of it or anything like that, you can then go in there and make those modifications. Very fast, very easy. Very, very easy. All right, let's jump over to our next question. How do I track visitor stats / add Google Analytics? Now that's really easy too. So when you go to the browser, go back to website builder, there's multiple ways you can do it. So you could either do it by page, click on settings, click on SEO, click on tracking, and here you can put any type of information, SS codes, Google AdWords, Facebook Pixel, anything, put it in the header. So if you have your analytic code, you can just paste it in right here. Code will go there. And this will do it on that page only. But if you need to do more of a global setting, you can click on tracking up in the top section and then add it directly here. If you need to get your Google Analytic code, we've written it out how you can get there. If you need any help, then just paste it into the header code section, and then it will then track any movement on your website. You can also do this for other things such as your form. So if you want to track any of your form information, what's going on in there, you can select here and add tracking for your form specifically. And you can also do it for marketing campaigns as well. If you want to track and see how people are performing with your website, if they're getting there specific ways, you can click on it and go directly to, just pop one in real quick. Settings, you have that, and then you have tracking information you can add in there and stuff like that. So very fast, very easy. Here we go, tracking. Yeah, you can track all that data there. Whoop. The browser didn't update. Sorry about that. Let me walk through that again. This browser sometimes doesn't want to update. So again, if you need to put that tracking data in there, go to your website, click on tracking in the top. You can then put it directly here in the header section for your Google tracking. If you want to do it just specifically for that one page, you can do it there as well by just clicking on SEO, then going to the tracking section and putting the code there. If you need to do it for marketing campaigns, you can put it in there as well. You can also do it for forms by putting it in on a form, selecting the form, clicking the icon here, and then clicking on tracking and put the code there. Easy enough. All right, next question. How can I create blogs content easily with using the AI tool? So let's showcase that. Very easy to do. Adding blog content is very fast. So let's just kind of go through that and different ways you can do it. So let's go over to our browser. Let's jump over to the blog section. And here we're just going to create a new blog. We'll just call it what to wear during a holiday session. click new post. And here you click on your text block. Now here is where you can get, playful and creative, where you can just start typing something and then PhotoBiz will rewrite it for you, like wearing your best outfit for seasonal photos is hard to figure out. In this article, I'll walk you through what are the best looks for winter sessions. So you have that. You can go from there. You can ask PhotoBiz AI to do something with this, and it'll rewrite that line specifically so it sounds more, polished, professional. That's great. Now there's some other things you can do in this section as well. So if you have text that you just pop in there, you can hit PhotoBiz AI to refresh it. But maybe you want to do something that's like here. You can give it a prompt. You can say like, I need to write a evergreen blog post. And an evergreen blog post means it can live forever. It doesn't have to be specifically tied to a specific date or year. About winter photos and what to wear. So I'm going to tell it to do that. And what it's going to do then is, since I have my business profile written and things like that, it's going to take that into account for what type of post to write about. It's going to be really helpful in generating that content. It'll spit it out for us, and there we go. You can see it put my information about Jane Doe, put New York in there, and it's already got all these types of things, and it's basing it off the location and business profile data. Now I have this great, wonderful blog post that's written for me. I can then modify it however I want to. I can add photos to it, however you want to. So, family. There we go. Find a photo that you like. Okay, this is in the city. I'm in the city. This blog post is ready to roll. Hit publish, and it is done. Now, to make sure that it's published and out to your clientele, that's the next step. So now we have the SEO. I'm going to tell it to go ahead and optimize it. Boom, there we go. Next, we're going to make sure that this is visible on our website. So we would go over to our website builder. Any blog post that you write isn't initially visible, so we need to make sure it's there. Maybe you have a section that's about your blogs on there, or you want to display specific blogs, you could do that. We're just going to add a blog block. We're just going to add this style. I think this looks cool. And you can see, you can have it where it displays all your posts with tags. So if you tagged your blog, you want to put family, you want to list all your family ones for a page, you could do that there. So there's tons of options you can do when it comes to making sure that it's styled properly. Then you can see, you can change the look as well, or maybe you just want to do your most recent ones. And you can also change if you want the publish date there or not. So you can see directly here how many you want displayed. I'm going to modify the settings. I only want one row of 3. And there we go. So now those will display on the website. As someone goes through, hey, there's my blog post. Then they can go directly in here. Now, if you have this layout selected, the first image you upload in there is going to be the first thing that displays. If you want to override that, that's easy to do as well. Click on the blog post, click on settings, click on cover image, and then you can upload your image here. So I'm just going to select something different. Select this one. Obviously, it's not correlated to the blog post, but just to give you an idea of what it looks like. So when people go to that blog post, they'll click here. There we go. Boom. So something to consider when you're making and customizing your website. All right, so that's pretty much it for today for questions. If you have any more, always let us know in the comment sections. We'll probably do more of these frequently asked questions in the future, especially if you guys need more assistance with this. But I think we fairly went over, at least 15 to 16, maybe even closer to 20 questions about how to utilize the website builder, frequently asked questions that people have about any things that we've been seeing. A lot of people have questions about AI, so we try to answer those. The biggest thing I'm going to recommend just from today, looking at it, make sure your business profile is set up. It's a great tool and feature that you can utilize, and you can see how smart it is when it comes to helping you come up with ideas and content for your website. It's just great to have a writing buddy. You can start writing something and you can just have it look over it and it'll make it look more polished. And isn't that nice? So you make sure you don't have any typos or anything like that. It's really wonderful that way. Definitely take a look at those features that are available. And if you have any more questions, you can always reach out to our team. Our team is always standing by to assist you. Again, you can always go to our blog.photobiz.com. You can see our latest posts, what we got going on. Recently, we talked about 7 smart ways to use our AI to grow your business faster. But you can also see what was recently released in the last month. We had that text editor option that I displayed. We have some new video layouts. So video is big, predominant. It's huge right now. You definitely want to take advantage of that. New testimonial card layouts, which are great. And we're going to have some brand new features for video, more on the list items soon. We'll also have that brand new scheduler side panel and calendar view options, which makes it look more dynamic and beautiful than ever, but it also makes it fast and easy to set up more scheduled events as quickly as possible. We'll probably talk about that soon again, but definitely want to take a look at those features that are available there. You can also go to our education.photobiz.com if you need any assistance right away. Check out our education.photobiz.com. You can check out our upcoming events that are coming up. So next week we have website reviews. Then the following week we're taking a break because it's the holiday, but then we're coming back on the December 5th for more website reviews. And then after that, we're talking about how you can utilize PhotoBiz AI and other such things. We also have our coaching services that are available, so take advantage of those as well. For 1 hour, for $150, you can get a lot done. You saw what we covered today. Imagine what we could do just specifically for your website in that time frame. Trust me, it's one of our most popular services. And hey, if you're already a current customer, we have a sale going on right now. Early Black Friday ones. You can check it out in our emails, things like that. You'll see what's available. But also talk to our team. If you want to take advantage of any sales right now, our team has a bunch of Black Friday sales available going on right now. Just right now, early, just for you. But if you're brand new, we also have some Black Friday options available too. So just reach out to our team. Our team will be happy to assist you. Do you need someone to help with social medias? No, I think we're very good. We have a great program going on. Appreciate you reaching out though. So that's it for today. I want to thank you and everyone for joining me. Again, if you have any questions or need any help, reach out to our team. We have live chat that's available. We also have a phone call that you can call us anytime. Our team is always standing by to assist you. I hope everyone has a great weekend, and if it's starting to snow in your areas, hope you stay warm.